Hello, soulmates. What's up, and welcome to yet another interesting episode with your girl. In today's video, I'll be sharing with us on how I made this beautiful, elegant, and simple pinafore dress with a waist strap and also a wrap pattern at the back. It's a girl Ua Apparel. So kindly hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So to start with, I have my fabric material which we'll be using. It's actually the same Ankara pattern fabric, but in two different shades of colors. Okay, and so the total yards of fabric required for this would be about 3 yards. Okay, so I have them both cut out. The one I'll be using for the bottom part of the gather, and then also the main skirt portion of the dress. So I'm simply taking measurements for the size of both fabric, for the width of both fabric. So I'll go ahead now to spread out my material. As you can see, we're going to be working on the skirt portion of our gown. So for this, you can see I'm spreading it out. It's about 4 yards in length. Please, you could achieve this by cutting your fabric in two. If you have 2 yards for your skirt, simply cut at the middle. So the length of the fabric should be equal in size. For every yard, you have 45 inches of length, okay, and then 36 inches of width. So cut the 45 inches into two. So that is, we'll be dividing 45 inches by 2 to give us 22.5 inches. So that is what we have here. And then I also have another fabric, which is what I'm attaching at the bottom of the skirt fabric, as you can see. So I'll go right ahead now to stitch these two together. They are actually of equal length. So I've joined them now, and you can see it is neatly done. So I'm simply pushing it across the table now so you could see the actual length of the material. So this is optional. You could achieve the same gown by not joining two fabrics together. But because I had the same fabric with different shades, I thought of creating something unique, and so that's why I attached both together. So we've set that aside now to work on what would be required for the top portion of our gown. So I have cut out the fabric for both the front and back, and as you can see, the back fabric is wider than that of the front because of the zipper allowance. And so the very first measurement we're going to be taking will be our neckline pattern. So I took a measurement of 4.5 inches width, and I'm taking 7 inches of depth, as you can see. So I'll go ahead now to connect the points together using my straight roll. So it's actually a rectangular shape. So after that, I would use my curve rule to draw out my deep round neckline pattern. So from what you can see, it is actually 5 inches, not 4.5. So I went ahead to also take the measurement for my shoulder to shoulder, and I'm also taking my shoulder slope there. I went down by 1 inch, which is my shoulder slope, as you can see. So from my shoulder slope to my chest line is 8 inches. And then using my straight rule, I'll be connecting the point from the shoulder slope to the chest point, which I indicated with a dot. So on that chest point there is where we're going to be drafting our armhole measurement from. So having done that, We're also going to be taking our bust circumference on the same chest line measurement. So you can see I'm extending the straight line from the armhole area there, because we'll be taking our bust circumference. Mine is 40 inches divided by 4. It gave me 10, and I'm adding an extra 2-inch seam allowance to it. Okay, so now I'm simply going to be drafting my armhole. So that's basically it for the drafting of my armhole. You can see the armhole is a bit deeper. This is because it is a pinafore. Okay, so next to that is the curve for our neckline pattern, as I had stated earlier. Okay, so you can see our pattern is already taking shape already. So from the highest point of the shoulder measurement, as you can see there, I went down to take my waistline measurement. Please, I'm so sorry. While recording, I didn't know my camera wasn't well positioned. And so that's why this point isn't showing properly. I'm so sorry for that. And so on my waistline, I'm taking my waist measurement of 8 inches, and then I added an extra 2-inch seam allowance to it. And I'm simply drawing my curve from the chest line to my waist area. And I went ahead to cut out my pattern. This mistake I have not done before in my previous video. Please pardon me, as it is not showing properly as it ought to. So forgive me for that. So I'd cut out my neckline pattern for the front. Because the pattern for the back is in a wrap, we are going to be doing something different. So you can see what I'm simply doing now. I'm going to be ruling a straight line across in a sort of a slant shape. So I'll be folding the neckline pattern for the front inward. So you could do this before drafting your line. So you can see me folding it inward now. So I'll be able to draft that straight line from the shoulder area of the front all the way to the bottom of the back pattern. So that portion you're seeing is what we are going to be cutting away from the back pattern, as you can see. Okay, so our pattern for the front and the back is ready, and this is what it is looking like. I am really sorry for the mistake made in this video. So you can see now that I had gone ahead to cut out my lining piece for both the front and the back of the top portion of our dress. So I'll go ahead now to attach my lining piece on the actual Ankara fabric. I'll run my stitches on it. So ensure you are running your stitches on the wrong side or the back side of your Ankara fabric, so that after stitching you would flip it to the right side, as I have done now and as you can see. So what I'm doing now is arranging my back pattern on my table first, and then I'm placing the front pattern or the front fabric on the back fabric. So I'm going to be stitching on the shoulders and then on the side. So ensure that whenever you want to stitch on the side, you always retake your measurements again. Okay, so I'd stitch now, and this is what it is looking like. And as you can see, I also made darts on the front portion. Okay, so I also did the same for the back as well. Ensure to take your darts on your fabric. It is optional, you could leave yours like that. Okay, so you can see now that I had stitched on the side. And so I'm going to be opening one side so as to be able to attach my zip on the side. This pinafore dress is one that has zipper on the side, because if there is no opening, you will not be able to wear it. As you can see on the back, the wrap has been stitched on each other, so you cannot open from the back, and so we had to open on the side for our zipper. And now we're simply going to be attaching our skirt fabric on the top fabric by making pleats. So if you do not want to make pleats, you can make gathers. So for my outfit, I made pleats, okay, not gathers. So I would go ahead to the sewing machine now to run my stitch all the way through to the end of the waist area. And so, having done that, this is what it is now looking like. Okay, so I have my openings on the side. So you can see what it is looking like. A simple gown, simple, beautiful gown. So I'll go ahead now to close the side and leave the portion where I'll be attaching my zipper. Okay, so guys, that's basically it for the making of my beautiful, elegant pinafore dress. I hope you enjoyed the video. Kindly hit on the subscribe button so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. And I will be seeing you on the next one. Until then, stay blessed and fabulous. Bye.